Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we're looking at the 10 reasons why football is the greatest sport on earth. 10. The global game. The World Cup is the pinnacle of the sport, and the final in 2014 got a peak of 1 billion viewers, with 3.2 billion people reached throughout the whole tournament. This was across 219 territories across the globe, showing that the language of football is the only one spoken in every country. From Ethiopia to Kazakhstan, the beautiful game can be watched anywhere, with die-hard fans thousands of miles from the team they support joining together to celebrate or commiserate. Whether you call it football, foosball, or even soccer, your love of the sport connects you to millions of people around the world. And anything that can bring happiness to people of all nations, ages, and religions is undoubtedly a force for good. 9. The awareness it generates. The benefit of having such a large-scale audience in football is that genuine issues affecting the lives of everyday people can be highlighted and shown to millions worldwide. Campaigns such as Kick It Out and Soccer Aid have raised awareness and money for charities such as UNICEF and causes like anti-racism and clean drinking water. But football isn't perfect, and we still see sexism, racism, and homophobia far too often. Managers like Malky Mackay and players like Antonio Cassano have said appalling things, and the game has to do more to address some of the outdated attitudes in stadiums and changing rooms. Thankfully though, things are slowly getting better, and the game stars have become more vocal in shaming bad behaviour and setting an example for future generations of fans. When a Villarreal supporter threw a banana at Dani Alves, the fullback picked it up and ate it. Before long, players across Europe were copying him to show solidarity, turning something ugly into an expression of togetherness. 8. The skill. When Bergkamp scored that goal against Newcastle, or Ronaldo scored that free kick against Portsmouth, thousands of kids worldwide went into their gardens to imitate their heroes, yet probably didn't come close to replicating those moments of magic. What seems otherworldly to us is a normal occurrence for the footballing superstar, as they display ridiculous amounts of technical skill week in, week out, leaving the average human to be wowed at some of the first touches and skills on show. It's this ability that gets the attention of those who aren't even fond of football. As feats that seem to be superhuman or even impossible to us, pros make it look like something they can do every single day. And whether it's a 30-yard screamer, a crossfield ping, or Neymar trying outrageous rainbow flicks, it's a joy to watch. 7. The passion. The passion that fans have for their clubs and the game is unrivaled, as teams across continents have shown with their spectacular tifo displays not only in their home city but when they follow their team up and down the country. Champions League games are a great spectacle because of the passion, just as foreign fans are amazed by the atmosphere of the Kop on a European night. Domestic teams are pleasantly surprised by the displays shown by their opponents. The famed Yellow Wall of Dortmund, and of course the Poznan from the Lech club. The sheer organisation and camaraderie it takes to get it all going requires a hell of a lot of commitment, effort, and of course, passion for the game. 6. The united communities. No matter where you go on holiday, you are sure to find a bar or pub showing some of the sport's best leagues, and you'll maybe even find a local fan club for your favourite team. Just having a mere mutual interest in a foreign country is enough to be invited to a collective community, all sharing one thing: a love for football. Fan clubs across the globe meet together at their local, whether it be at 1 AM or 2 PM, to watch their beloved club, with all of them welcoming anyone who shares the same commitment to their club as they do. It's not just fan communities either, as most football clubs give back to their local community which supports them, as they form together youth groups or improve facilities that youngsters can safely play on whilst helping them to stay on the straight and narrow in life. 5. The bragging rights. So your team has just smashed their local rivals 3-0, and your mates who support the other team in the city have been giving it the big one for the last couple of weeks. Is there a better feeling than going to school or work on Monday with the smuggest look on your face? That sad and distraught look on the faces of the losers is something to savour until the next big game, where you're guaranteed to turn into a nervous wreck watching your side play on the weekend whilst listening to brain-melting commentary from Michael Owen. It's all part and parcel of the game though, and even if your side regularly gets hammered by their bitter rivals, at least you can call your mates glory hunters. 4. The unpredictability. Football is capable of providing shocks no matter what the level of competition. There's so many variables that can happen in 90 minutes of play that some of the sport's big boys can go out of cup competitions to lower league minnows. The FA Cup, for example, is famed for cup sets. The old cliche of the magic of the cup comes out whenever a side in the Football League manages to topple a Premier League outfit. A standout example was when Bradford beat Chelsea 4-2 at Stamford Bridge in 2015 to clinch a place in the 5th round. Other sports, take for example basketball, has a playoff series where a maximum of 7 games can be played in order to progress to the next round. And where's the excitement in that? It's almost impossible to imagine Bradford City beating Chelsea at least 4 times, which is a reason why we love our cup competitions and the unpredictability of football. 3. The peace it can bring. Unfortunately, the story of Pele and his Santos team causing a ceasefire during the Nigeria Civil War doesn't seem to be true, but there have been numerous occasions where football has brought solace in an era of destruction. We've talked about this in more depth in a recent video, 5 times football changed the world forever, but football has regularly been used as a tool for peace or solidarity, such as the World War I truce between the British and the German soldiers, or when Drogba used it to unite the Ivory Coast during a time of civil unrest. Football is a powerful tool that can bring happiness to people even when matters could not get any worse. 2. The escape it can provide. As many of you know, some of the best footballers in the world were brought up in poverty, especially South Americans such as Luis Suarez and Alexis Sanchez, who used football as a means to escape the harsh environments they were born into. These 2 world-class talents got their desire to achieve from the streets, and using the minimal amount of resources they had to play with, they forged their technique and passion for the game and changed the lives of their families and themselves. Events held such as the Homeless World Cup give hope to those who are struggling on the streets, whilst inspiring them to further themselves after the tournament finishes. These opportunities are all generated by football, and is a large reason why the game is so great. 1. The accessibility. It doesn't matter where you were born or how well off you are. Football is a sport that can be played by anyone at any time. Whether that's made up of professional equipment or simply a goal made out of stones or jumpers for goalposts, it's the most accessible sport in the world. All you need is something to act as a football and a couple of people, and you can start playing straight away. Perhaps a great example of it being a truly global sport was seen in 2011 in a Premier League game between Blackburn and West Brom. In this fixture at Ewood, a record 22 nationalities played a part in the game. Although some of the old-fashioned English supporters might worry about the lack of homegrown talent, there's not a greater sight than players from different origins and different backgrounds coming together to achieve one common goal. So there we have it, but what do you guys at home think? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, why don't you click here for loads more great content and down there to subscribe. And as always guys, we'll catch you later.